Weapons free! Under heavy fire! We hit their officer! Go! Move it! I'm at point. No cover!
Though it has a long history of bringing tactical third-person shooter action to Sony systems, the SOCOM series hasn't made much of a splash on the PlayStation 3. Yet, while its predecessor disappointed, SOCOM 4 delivers. The substantial campaign makes good use of setting and characters to create an engaging tour of duty. The online cooperative mode provides a stiff challenge for up to 5 players, and the competitive multiplayer offers intense skirmishes on large, well-designed maps. SOCOM 4 does have some issues to contend with, especially in the stealth sections and the online multiplayer. But there's still a lot of entertaining action across the 3 different modes, and it's exciting to experience what each one has to offer.
Understood.
The campaign plays out in Southeast Asia and centers on the Strait of Malacca, a major shipping channel. You and your Marines fight your way through the tropical countryside and into larger towns as you hunt a militant revolutionary leader, linking up early on with 2 Korean NATO soldiers that join your operation. The story is fairly standard, and without many thrills in store, 2 characters are responsible for generating most of the story's appeal. The first is the American Ops Commander. His checkered military past fuels his single-minded focus on the mission, and you're not always sure whether you want to be on his side. The second is First Lieutenant Park Yoon-hee, aka 45. She radiates a sense of aptitude and confidence, and her penchant for swearing and tendency for insubordination are used sparingly and to great effect. Her character stands out because she fits right in, even going so far as to drop a cliché one-liner or 2, and this authenticity livens up the otherwise generic plot.
Let's see if you're as good as you say you are.
I'm better.
These 2 characters also reflect the 2 different styles of play you encounter in the campaign. As the OpsCom, you can command both 2-person squads as you make your way through each level. Setting your teams up behind cover can create some deadly ambushes and help you advance to better firing positions during the heat of battle. Though you can get away with being bold early on, later levels make it much more dangerous to stick your neck out, so you have to be sure to use your squad well. Friendly AI is generally good, and you can rely on them to fire effectively and take down targets you mark for them, providing you've given them a good line of fire.
Engage enemy troops.
They do commit some cover-related blunders and occasionally spoil your stealthy approach. And man, do they like to complain. Fortunately, they can revive each other, and this generally mitigates any tactical errors. OpsCom missions strike a good balance. They encourage you to use squad orders, but don't require you to micromanage. The enemy AI is quite smart, and you'll see your foes using cover wisely, advancing aggressively, and retreating to regroup. You may find yourself using smoke grenades and squad orders more than you might think, and it's a great feeling to fight your way through the tough skirmishes and ambushes that you encounter.
Switching bags.
The other style of campaign mission is stealth. Playing as 45, you must silently infiltrate and navigate enemy strongholds in order to gain intel and plant explosives. With 2 silenced weapons and the ability to stealth kill from behind, 45 is plenty deadly, and slinking about provides enjoyably tense moments. There are some oddities that crop up here and there to lessen your immersion, stuff like odd lighting or inconsistently perceptive enemies, and getting discovered invariably leads to mission failure. You can throw shell casings to lure guards out of position, but even this can be a finicky tactic. Stealth missions hinge on precision, so these issues can disrupt your otherwise well-executed maneuvers. Still, these sections are a nice change of pace. You usually infiltrate areas that you then revisit on the next mission with a full fire team. And even though the environments are the same, they look very different as you plot a new course through them in the light of day under a hail of gunfire. This gives the campaign a nice sense of continuity that helps build momentum throughout the 8 or so hours it'll take you to complete it. If you want to get some friends in on the action, SOCOM 4's cooperative mode lets up to 5 players team up online to tackle standalone missions that involve recovering info or killing enemy VIPs. You can tweak the settings to determine how skilled and how numerous your enemies are, and the difficulty really ramps up in the tougher matches. You better pack smoke grenades to cover your incapacitated friends while you're reviving them, and communicating with your team via headset or in-game waypoints can make the difference between success and miserable failure. It's a shame that there are only 6 maps and 2 objective types available for co-op play, because working as a team and taking down a fierce enemy force is very satisfying.
Over there!
Yet, as tough as the enemy AI can be, there's no opponent tougher than your fellow human.
Strike inbound.
SOCOM 4's 32-person competitive multiplayer mode can get pretty hectic, and depending on the settings, you might see enemy soldiers running around and leaping off structures in an almost cartoonish fashion. The silly-looking tactic of going prone in close-range firefights is also on display here, but don't let these strange sights fool you. This multiplayer arena is competitive and deadly. A few bullets or a single headshot is all it takes to end a life. So even if you're tucked behind cover, you're very vulnerable for those moments that you stick your head out. This generates a good intensity that is amplified when you play the matches using classic SOCOM rules. If you die in these contests, you don't respawn until the next round, so smart maneuvering takes on paramount importance. The big maps offer plenty of different routes and cover positions, and though the game could have benefited from a few more, it'll take a while before you tire of these. Team Deathmatch and Capture the Flag make an appearance, alongside a bomb defusal mode that lets one lucky player don a Hurt Locker-esque getup, as well as a last defense mode that involves shifting battlefield objectives. These are all fun to play, and even though you might wish there were more variations, whether or not you can respawn does have a big effect on how each game type can play out. You gain experience and rank up for good play, though if you want to upgrade your gun, you're going to have to spend some quality time with it. Fortunately, gun progress is tracked across all 3 modes, so if you use a given assault rifle for most of the campaign, it'll be primed and ready for multiplayer action. You may encounter some network issues while playing, which cause players to get out of sync with each other. These matches aren't common, and they usually manage to fix themselves when you start a new round, but players burned by the laggy launch of Confrontation have reason to be wary. SOCOM 4 also supports the latest in gaming gimmickry, the PlayStation Move and stereoscopic 3D. Both the control scheme and the visual effects work quite well, providing properly equipped players with a fun way to put their purchases to good use. Yet, no matter how you are equipped, SOCOM 4 has a lot to offer despite its limitations. With an entertaining campaign, intense cooperative challenges, and frantic multiplayer firefights, the SOCOM series has finally made a name for itself on the PS3.